Hello and welcome to our tutorial on Ultimate Budget by Paycheck, brought to you by Amazing Printables Pro. In this tutorial, I will try to explain how you can make the best use of this spreadsheet to take control over your finances. Basically, there are 8 tabs in total, divided into 3 major categories. So the first one is introduction, which is nothing but some description of the other 7 tabs, as you can see here, and some additional instructions. The second 3 tabs, that is data entry, transactions, and budget overview, these are the tabs where you have the option and you need to utilize these options to input the necessary data as per your requirement. And the last 4 tabs are basically representation in various form of the data you have input in the 3 tabs, that is data entry, transaction, and budget overview. You'll understand it more clearly when we delve into the detailed version of the explanation of each tab. Let's start with the first tab, that is introduction. As you see here, we start with a notice saying that if you want to, and of course you have to input the data and utilize this spreadsheet, that is straightforward. However, if you have any question, feel free to let us know through images. But we can say that if you watch the full tutorial carefully, it will be much easier for you to follow along and to make the best use of this spreadsheet. So here we have a navigation bar. It will be available in all the tabs so that you can navigate from any tab to any other tabs as per your requirement, either through this tab horizontally or through this navigation bar that is placed vertically. And then the first part of this tab is summary, which is the summary of this whole spreadsheet. And the second part is important. So this is an important instructions. So what it says here is to maintain the accuracy of the spreadsheet. What we have done, we have created green boxes and red boxes so that you can input the data in the green boxes, but where the boxes are red, it's highly suggested that you do not touch anything within the red boxes. Why? Because these data will be automatically updated through formula. So for example, if I select this, you see there is a formula behind it. So if you want to make the best use of this spreadsheet and does not make any error, then do not touch anything within the area that is surrounded by red boxes like this. Okay, you only need to input data or edit anything within the cells or the sections surrounded by green boxes like this. Okay, so that's the first most important thing before using uh, this spreadsheet, that is you only need to edit or input data within the green boxes and do not touch anything within the red boxes. Okay, so with that being said, the remaining part of the introduction tab contains the description of the other remaining tabs, as you see here: data entry, transactions, a budget overview, calendar, savings, and date tracker. Okay, so we will go in detailed explanation when we reach into the tabs individually, but let's have a quick look on the description. So it says here, any changes you make on this tab will be reflected elsewhere for you. This means, as I just have said, that these 3 tabs are for you to input your data, and whenever you input anything within these tabs, the representation of the data may change, actually will change, because of the change of your input, because these 4 tabs, last 4 tabs, that is debt tracker, that is my priorities, debt tracker, my savings, and calendar, these are just representation of whatever data you input through data entry tab or transaction tab or budget overview tab. Okay, So the next, and here I will show you how you can define all the categories, uh, like income, savings, bills, expenses, debt, and any other extra bills, how you can define each of these matching with your situation. Okay, the next step is on transaction, where you can record all the transactions, all the monthly transactions as per the date. So let's say you have started using this from the 1st of August 2024. So whenever you click on this cell, it will automatically give you the calendar, so that you can easily select the date for which you are trying to input a transaction or record a transaction. For example, we have here uh, there is a transaction, just an example, salary is $5,000 within the income category and subcategory monthly salary. I will explain in detail what this means when we will go through these steps individually. For now, let's go back to our first step, that is introduction. So the budget overview. So as the name explains, this will be an overview and visual representation of your budget through various pie charts and bar charts, as you can see. The next one will be savings. So we will show you how you can track your savings up to 30 categories with this spreadsheet, and the visual representation of each of these categories will be available in the My Savings tab. Next, we have the date tracker tab. So this tab is also dedicated, like the way this tab is dedicated for savings. This tab is dedicated for tracking all your debts, so that you can pay them off and get rid of them as soon as possible. And finally, priorities. When you have multiple things to do, of course you need to assign priorities, right? So that's why you have this tab, that is My Priorities, where you can assign priorities to various bills. You have, let's say, 5 or 6 kinds of bills or more, up to 30 categories, but the importance of each of them are not equal, right? So that's what you can assign using our My Priorities tab, so that you can prioritize the bills, expenses, and all other categories as per their importance. Okay, so let's go to our introduction tab. Okay, and these are the 7 brief introduction of the 7 tabs, and after that there are 2 additional things on this introduction tab. One is how you can change colors. If you do not like any of the color of the spreadsheet, of course you can change it as per your choice, and that's why this instruction is given here. It's very easy to follow. And also, if you want to change currencies, you can do so by following this method, even though we will give you a few currencies where you do not have to change the currency. For example, for the demonstration purpose, we have chosen this spreadsheet which is in dollar. So there will be another spreadsheet when you purchase this item uh, that will be customized with euro and pound, like that. And if you are looking for a currency that is not available already in the purchased files, then you can customize uh, the spreadsheet using this method stated here as per the currency you are looking for, if that's not already available in the files that you have purchased from our store. Okay, so that's all about the introduction. Now let's move to the data entry tab. So as the name suggests, that this is the tab where you can enter your data. So basically here you will see various categories like income, savings, bills, expenses, debt, and extra bills. Okay, so let's go over one by one. So income, as it's pretty straightforward. If you have only one stream of income, then you can just define it as monthly salary or salary, something like that. However, this spreadsheet is capable of taking care up to 30 categories of income. Okay, so whatever you see here, you see the whole box is surrounded by green lines, right? This means you can change anything on these cells. Okay, but these are filled up just for demonstration purpose, so you can change it to anything. So you can change, so let's say whatever your category or whatever the income stream you have, let's say you have a side hustle, uh, you can define it in this way, or if you have something else you can define it according to your situation. Okay, so you can track up to 30 categories of income and each of them are editable. Okay, so you can easily edit them. Okay, so next we have savings. So you can track up to 30 categories of savings, and the same thing is applicable here. You can change any of that as per your situation. You can name them according to your saving category, according to the name of your saving category. Okay, you don't have to use these categories, these are just samples. Okay, so you can edit each of them. The first one is shown just for the demonstration purpose. Like for example, one of the most common income stream is monthly salary. One of the most common way of savings is savings from the monthly salary. And likewise you can track up to 30 bills. Okay, and one of the most common bill in this age is internet bill, right? So whenever you have bills or dates, you will see there is an additional column at the right of it, adjacent right of it, saying payday. Because let's say for example you have to pay the internet bill by uh, the 20th of the month, for example, or by the first of the month, as per your situation, right? So you can assign the payday here. Okay, likewise when you have a date, okay, so let's go to that later. Let's go step by step. So we are in the bill column, right? So as I was saying, you can track up to 30 bills. Okay, and you can change it to whatever you would like to change and whatever your situation requires it to name it. Okay, name it accordingly as per your requirement. So and with each bill you can assign a paid. Okay, that is that for example you want to pay the internet bill by the first of the month, and you have another bill which you are planning to pay, or you have to pay by the second of the month. Likewise, okay, in this drop down you can assign up to 31st. So if there is a month, of course there is no month more than 31 days. So this way this drop down menu covers all the month. Okay, so in summary, you can customize the name of the bill and you can assign the payday accordingly. Next, we have expenses. One of the most common expenses we have is grocery, and the remaining 29 we just left as it is, just as a sample. And as usual, as we have said, you can change each of them as per your requirement, as per your situation. Okay, you can track up to 30 expenses. Next we are moving to debt. So for the debt we have two columns, the name of the debt and payday. If you are wondering why we will input the date, don't worry, we will come to a section where you can input the date. Okay, just right here you see we have the option to input the amounts. Okay, so don't worry about that. In these sections we are just assigning the names of the debts we have. Okay, and when we need to pay. So for example, we have, if we have a credit card debt and we need to pay by the 5th of the month, you can assign it accordingly. And if you have student loan and if you need to pay the student loan by the 10th of the month, you can assign it from this drop down menu. And finally we have one additional column, that is extra bills. If you have something extra which does not quite fit in these categories, then you can uh, use this extra column to input the name of the bill, the amount, and the payday. It's not urgent or necessary that you have to use it, but there is an option. In case you have something you cannot quite fit in earlier categories, you can put it here. Okay, so that's the first part of the data entry tab. Now let's move on to the second part, where you will see the option to input the savings and debts. Okay, as you see here in this part we have two additional sections to input the amounts of savings and debts. So let's be specific. Let's go to savings and sinking funds. Okay, so let's say for example you have, this is just one of the examples of very common savings, that is savings from salary. You can track, as we said earlier, you can track up to 30 savings. Okay, now thing is, be careful. As we have said, it's very important that you edit only whatever you have within the green border. This means that these cells you do not have to edit. Why? Because when you edit these, it will be automatically updated here. Okay, so let's say you have given a specific name to savings 2, then it will be updated here automatically. So let's, for the demonstration purpose, let's name it savings number 222. Okay, so let's see. So as you see, it's automatically updated here, right? So do not change anything here. Why? Because it's not within the green boundary. Okay, so if you want to change anything here, change it here. Why? Because it is within the green boundary. Okay, so do not change anything outside of green boundary. Okay, so here in this section you can only, and also you will need to only change anything within this green boundary. Okay, so let's say you have a goal of saving $5,000 from the savings of the salary. This, all the amounts here are hypothetical. Okay, you will input your amount according to your situation. Okay, and you want to start by saving $100. Okay, that's the first amount with which you want to reach the goal of saving $5,000 in the category of savings from salary. And you can assign monthly how much you want to save, whether it is $50, $100, $200, $500, as per your situation. Okay, so this way you can assign other categories as well. Just for simple purpose, we have put all the amounts, all of which are hypothetical. You can of course change all of them. Okay, so in summary, if you want to change the name of this savings category, you have to change it here. If you want to change or assign any amount, then you have to do it here. Okay, so let's move on to the second part, that is date tracker. So here you can assign the date from which uh, you want to track your dates. And for your convenience, the cell is designed in a way so that whenever you click on it, a calendar will pop up and you can just select the date you want to start with. Okay, and monthly extra, this is as per your convenience, whatever amount you have extra. Now the same thing here, as we see that this column is only within, this column is only within the green boundary, so you can change anything within this column. So you can assign like you can assign a name of the date using these columns. Okay, and it will be automatically updated here. And then you can assign the amount. Let's say if you have credit card debt, how much is the credit card debt you have right now. Okay, if the goal is 5,000, then what is the rate of interest. Okay, and then it will be automatically calculated. The minimum payment will be automatically calculated for you. Okay, so you can assign the amounts here, and you can assign the interest rate as per your situation. Okay, and if you have any student loan, and what's the rate of interest of the student loan, you can assign these amounts, and this way you can track up to 30 categories of debts. Okay, I hope you don't have that much debt, of course, but you have the option to track in case you have. Okay, so this is all about our data entry tab, where in the first part you can assign the names of the various categories of income, savings, expenses, debts, bills, and extra bills. Okay, and in the second part of the data entry tab, you can assign the amounts of savings and debts. Now you may have question, then where we will, so we have covered only savings and debt where you can input the amounts, but where we will input the other amounts except debts and savings. So for example, where we can input the amounts for the bills and expenses, right? That's where we will go to transactions tab. Okay, here you can input each and every transaction that takes place in a month. Okay, so see, in these drop-down menus, only the categories you have defined in the data entry tab are available here. So for example, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? These 5 categories uh, are available here. Now you may say that what about the extra bills? Now the extra bills are, as we said, it's a little bit different category. So the extra bills are not available in this drop down menu. That's why you can input the extra bills right on the first tab, and it will be available on the tabs later on we will see. Okay, so if you have any kind of extra bills that are not included in the first these categories, then you can input the amount here, but for the usual categories everything will be available in the drop down menu. Okay, and then so let's say at this point we have under the income category we have 30 categories. Okay, so now I will show you that. Let's say you have a transaction and that falls under the category of income. Let's say you have got your salary in the amount of $5,000, which is of course a hypothetical amount. Your amount will be according to your situation. Okay, so you write that amount and you assign it to the category of income, and whenever you assign it to this category, right away the remaining 30 subcategories will be available here. See, you have assigned the income category, that's why it has now the 30 categories or subcategories of income. Now let's say if it would not be income category, let's say if it would be savings category, then you would have the subcategories of savings. Okay, not the income. So let's put it back. So income, and now we have the income subcategories. Okay, so if you want to see any change in this category drop down menu or in this subcategory drop down menu, then you need to bring that change in this tab here. Okay, in this data entry tab, not here. Okay, so whatever you will input here will be available in the drop down menu in the transaction tab. Okay, so let's say if you want to add one income stream or change the name of one of the income streams, let's say you want to change income number 2 to any specific name, then you have to do it here. Okay, you can do it here and it will be automatically reflected. Let's say for example we want to change it to income number 2 to number of 2s. Okay, and we will see if it is updated there. So let's see, it's automatically updated. Okay, so this is how these are, and they are interconnected. So whatever you need to change, you have to change here. Okay, so let's put it back to number 2. Okay, so this one you just assign a date of the transaction. So let's say you have a transaction on the 5th of August and in the amount of $500, and that transaction falls within the category of saving and subcategory of savings from salary. And if you want to put any note here, you can do that by typing it here. Okay, so through this tab you can track and you can record the transaction of each and every day of the month. Okay, and all these are just sample dates. Okay, just for demonstration purpose, you can change all of that. Okay, so in summary, the transaction tab will be the one which you will be using mostly to input all type of transactions takes place in any days of the month. Okay, next moving on to budget overview. Okay, so when we are moving on the tabs, it's very important to look at the top instructions first. Okay, sorry I missed the instructions of this tab, so let's go through together. So what it says here, it says to make the sheet properly work for you, please make sure that first and last date of this tab match with the start and end date of the budget overview tab, which means that if your transaction starts from August 1st in this transaction tab, then on the budget overview tab you must have to select the date 1st of August, okay, so that it matches. This way the spreadsheet will work perfectly for you. If it doesn't matches, then chances are that it will not work properly for you, okay. And it of course makes sense because all of the tabs are interconnected, so you have to be consistent, right? If you start transactions from the 1st of the August, you must have to put the starting date 1st of the August, okay. And similarly for the end date, whatever the end date is, you have to put that date as an end date, okay. So that's the first instruction. The second one says the amounts you are inserting in this tab will be considered as actual amount, and these are automatically updated on the budget overview tab. So actual amount, okay, so you will better understand when we will move on to the budget overview tab. For each categories and subcategories, we have two kinds of amount, which is planned and another one is actual, okay. So these transactions are real. Real meaning, for example, you have a plan of let's say you plan to save from savings from salary $400. That's your planned amount. But at the end of the day, if you end up saving $400 in reality and you are recording it here, then that will be your actual amount, okay. And we will explain it more when we move on to the budget overview tab shortly. So that's the thing. So whatever input you give on this transaction tab, this will be the actual amount, okay. And we will explain more on the budget overview tab about the planned amount. So again, whenever you move on to any tab, first look at the top if there is any instructions, okay. So there are instructions on the transaction tab, and now you know what are the instructions and what we have to do, okay. Now let's move on to budget overview tab. So budget overview tab, we also have two instructions here. Let's go through these. So to make the sheet work properly for you, please make sure start date and end date match with the dates on the transaction tracker, okay. So this is almost the same instructions that we have there, okay, in the transactions tab, okay. So this is the same instructions. Now the second one is to preserve the sheet formulas, please edit only the table cells within green borders. So if you see anything outside of green border, like this column, this column, this column, this column, do not touch, okay. You just have to edit, and you also need to edit within anything within the green border, okay. So now let's say, for example, we explain the idea of planned and actual. Obviously the name suggests itself that the planned amount is you have planned. Let's say, for example, at the beginning of the August, you plan to save $400 from the category of savings from salary, okay. However, you ended up saving more, okay, which is $500, which you have recorded that took place on the 5th of August, okay. Now this budget overview tab will show you both though. So this 500, you don't have to input this amount here, it will be automatically pulled from the transactions tab. You can only input and update the planned amount. So you have planned income of $5,000 from the monthly salary. You have planned $100 internet bills. This may match with the actual amount, this may not match with the actual amount, depends upon which category and subcategory you are looking for, okay. So here again we have the categories, major categories with all the 30 subcategories, and each of them have planned and actual. So in this tab you can change the planned amounts. The actual amounts will be automatically updated as you input it in the transactions tab. Now at the top you can assign the start date and date matching with the transactions tab, and you have one option that is called rollover. So let's say you have residual income of $1,000 from the previous month, you can assign it here. If you don't have any, you can just change it to 0. That's why this cell is surrounded by green, so that you can change it, okay, as per your situation. And this one you don't have to touch. These amounts will be automatically updated, okay. So you don't touch anything within this red boundary. And here this bar chart will show you the planned and actual amount of income, savings, bills, expenses, and debts. And this pie chart here, it will show the distribution of various categories, meaning savings, bills, expenses, dates. And this will show you the planned bills and expenses, and this will show you at the end of the month if you have left anything for you or not. Okay, and these, as I already have explained, these are the major categories with 30 subcategories. Each of them have planned amount, actual amount. You can only change the or assign the planned amounts as per your plan. Okay, and when you input all the planned amounts here, this will be automatically added for you here at the bottom, and for the actual amount it will also be automatically added, and the amounts will be taken from the transaction tab. You do not have to input any amount here. Okay, the actual amount. Now moving on to the next step, that is calendar. So it's very interesting to see this calendar tab. It will show how nicely it works. So let's start with the instructions. So it says to preserve the sheet formula, please edit only the cells within the green border. Do not edit anything within the calendar except the checkboxes. Okay, we will explain this line. Okay, just hold on for a bit. The second notice says choose a month and year that match with the data provided in the transactions and budget overview tab. Okay, so let's say you have for this demonstration purpose we have chosen the for August, month of August, right? So if you have the month of August in the transactions tab and also in the budget overview tab, then you have to choose the month of August, because that's the one you are going to visualize here, right? So just keep in mind that. Okay, so it will work very nicely for you. How? So let's go to our data entry tab. Okay, so one of the most common bills is internet, and let's say you have to pay the internet on the first day of the month and you have assigned it on the data entry tab. This will automatically, so you don't have to type here internet, it will automatically populate here. Okay, on the first day of the August. Okay, how nice it is, right? So whatever you see on this calendar, you do not have to type anything. So that's why this instruction, it says you just have to check off, and you can just put a tick mark or take a tick mark out. So let's say for example on the first day you have paid off the internet bill, so you can just tick here and it will cross it off. This way, from this you will have a monthly overview uh, of the whole month. Like this will represent exactly which bills you have paid and exactly which bills you have not paid. Okay, so whatever you see here, whether bill 2 or student loan or example 2, you don't have to type it here, it will be automatically updated. That's how it is designed. Okay, so let's say we go back to data entry tab and we see here the bill 2 is dated pay date 2. So if we go to pay date 2, second of the month, bill 2 is automatically here, you don't have to type it here. Okay, same if we see the dates. Okay, so let's say student loan is dated 10th, right? Whenever you assign it here, it will be automatically updated here, and then on the 10th of the month, once you have paid it off, you can just put a tick here and it will be crossed off. This means you have paid off student loan. Now keep your focus on the example 2, which is not yet paid off. Now why it is on the 10th of the month? Because we have assigned it on the 10th of the month from the data entry tab. So on this calendar tab, everything will be populated automatically when you input the data on these early 3 tabs, whether it is in data entry tab or transaction tab or budget overview tab. So let's see something from the so let's go back to the calendar. So let's see, medical date is dated on the 25th, right? So if we see here, medical date is payday 25, you see. So whenever you assign it here, it will be automatically updated here, and once you paid it off, just tick. Okay, and it will be crossed off. So that's the use of calendar. So that's why it's written within the calendar. You just need to put a tick on it if it is paid off. If not, then you don't put a tick on it. Okay, and as you see here, this is red, This means we cannot touch anything. These will be automatically updated from the data that you have input earlier. Okay, so the only thing that you need to do on the calendar tab is to assign the appropriate month you want to see that matches with the budget overview and transaction tab, and the year, and from which day you want to start the calendar. So if you want the calendar in the format with Sunday starting, you can do so and it will be automatically updated. Or if you want the calendar to start with Monday, the week to start with Monday, then you can just assign it, will be automatically updated, right? How nice it is, right? So that's the use of calendar tab. Now moving on to the savings tab. So let's see what's the notice here. Zooming in. So to preserve the sheet formula, please do not edit anything on this sheet since all the necessary data are pulled from the previous tab automatically. So this tab, you don't have to edit anything. Why? Because whatever data you input earlier will be automatically updated here visual. So this tab is just for your visual representation of all the 30 categories of the savings. Okay, you may not need all of them, but you have the option to track all of them. So let's say if you have just only 1 2 3 4 5 6 stream of savings, only this row will be sufficient for you. Okay, so whatever amount, so let's look into a specific example. Okay, so let's say we will look into the first category of the savings, that is savings from the salary, right? So you see here we have assigned saving from the salary in the amount of, the goal amount is $5,000, the starting amount is $100, and monthly amount is $50. Now moving on to my savings tab, we see here savings from salary, the goal amount is $5,000, starting amount is $100, and monthly contribution is $50. So whatever you give, it will be, whatever you assign on the data entry tab, it will be automatically updated here. Okay, now you may have question then where this amount has come, right? So let's see. So you see savings from the salary on the transaction tab, we see that we have recorded that on the 5th of August we have saved $500, right? So from this tab it is updated here. See, this means you have saved already $500 and you started with $100. So you have $600. This means you have left to save $4,400. How easy and nice it is, right? You don't have to do any calculation. All of them will be automatically updated. So you do not have to edit anything on the my savings tab. All of them will be updated automatically from the data entry tab, from the transaction tab. Okay, so if you need to adjust anything, adjust them here, not there on the my savings tab. Okay, so and here as you see that you have saved up to $600. The starting amount was $100 and on August 5th you have saved $500. So this amount represents the amount you have saved. Okay, now moving on to the next step, that is debt trigger. The same way you have the savings tab that represents all kinds of savings. You have the debt trigger is also the option to see all kinds of debts you have. Okay, and let's start with reading the notices that we have on this tab. So the first notice, it says, to preserve the sheet formula, please do not edit anything on this sheet except year and month, since all the necessary data are pulled from the previous tabs automatically. So the same thing here, you just need to select the year and the month. Okay, for the month you have 12 months, you can choose the month from the drop down menu. So these are the two things that you need to do. You can do on the do yourself, if you want to edit, these are only the two cells you can edit. The rest of the cells you do not have to edit. Everything will be automatically updated from the data that you have input in the earlier tabs. Okay, so and this debt trigger can work as a wonder for you. How? So let's say you have, for example, for the purpose of demonstration, we have here 1 2 3 4 5 categories of debt, right? So using the snowball strategy, once you input all these kinds of debts with the goal amount and the interest percentage as per your situation, this debt tracker will represent exactly on which month you have to pay which amount, so that you can pay off the minimum debt first and eventually uh, the biggest debt at the last. Okay, this means, for example, to be specific, let's say we have here these 5 debts and the minimum debt is medical debt, right, as you see here in the amount of $1,000. So that is why you will see the medical debt is presented here in the first column. Now let's say if you would have a different, let's say if you have the minimum debt of personal loan, then this column would be automatically changed to personal loan, meaning this step is designed using the snowball strategy, where you can pay off the smallest debt first and then the next amount. Okay, so let's say we have here, for the demonstration purpose, the smallest one is $1,000, that is medical debt. Then the next one is 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, which means this is the first debt we can get rid of quickly, and then the next target will be personal loan, auto loan. Okay, now just remember this serial: medical debt, personal loan, auto loan, student loan, credit card loan. Medical debt, personal loan, auto loan, student loan, and credit card loan. This is exactly the way you have assigned, but this is not uh, uh, because of it is written here in this way. Rather, it is because the amounts are in this way. So for example, to demonstrate it, let's say we increase it to 3,000 and we increase it to change it to 2,000. Let's do it. So we change it to 3,000 and we change it to 2,000. Okay, this means after 1,000 our second target should be auto loan, right? So let's see here. So see, after medical debt we now see auto loan. Previously we were seeing personal loan, if you can remember, or you can go back to the video and you will see that initially after medical debt we had personal loan, but now it is updated to auto loan. Why? Because 2,000 is the next amount after next biggest amount after 1,000, right? And then 3,000. So now the serial has changed to medical debt, auto loan, then personal loan. See here, medical debt, auto loan, and personal loan. Okay, isn't that nice? So that's why if you have a number of dates and if you can record it here as per your situation, you do not have to think about to plan how much amount you have to pay, because everything will be done automatically for you. So see, this has calculated everything for you, and now you have to pay on the August of 2024. You have to pay $250 for the medical debt and $100 for the personal loan. Okay, so it will tell you, it will make a plan for you, and you just need to pay that amount on that month. Okay, so that's the amazing feature of this debt tracker tab, that whenever you input all the necessary details of the debts, it will automatically give you a payment plan. You don't have to calculate. It will automatically give you a payment plan, and you just need to pay off that amount as per the payment plan suggested by this tab. Okay, and it will definitely help you a lot to get rid of the debt as early as possible. And you will also be able to see what's the last date you can get rid of your all of the dates. And as we see here, it will be December 25 for these example amounts. On December, which means on December 2025 you will get rid of all the loans or debts you have. Okay, and this amount of course pertains to the biggest amount, biggest debt that you have, that is the credit card debt, which we can see here also. Credit card debt is the biggest amount. Okay, so the biggest amount of debt will be paid off at the last. Okay, so this way you can have an overview of everything about your debts of all categories, including the dates when you will get rid of all the debts. Okay, Now finally the priorities step. So let's go through the notice first. That is, do not edit anything on this sheet except using the drop down menus to assign priorities. So now you may have a number of bills, a number of expenses, but of course all of their priorities are not same. That's what you can assign from here. So let's say for example internet bill. If you're someone who work from home or who uses internet, of course all of us are using internet in this age, so you can assign the category to critical, because if internet is cut off, then you uh, cannot do anything online, right? And just keep an eye how things will change on this pie chart and the bar chart as I change the category. So let's say I am assigning it to critical category. Okay, so everything is updated accordingly. What I mean by that is this pie chart represents the distribution of importance levels. Okay, and this is another representation of various importance levels through bar chart, and this will be updated once you categorize the priorities of each subcategory of the bills and each subcategories of the expenses. Okay, so you see here you have up to 5 categories you can assign to any subcategory of the bills or any subcategory of the expenses. Okay, so and this is also a short description of the tab that is ready to slash spending and boost saving. It's time to dive into your bills and expenses. Why look harder? You can spend smarter, right? With this priority budget sheet, we will rank every expense by importance and reveal how much you can save by cutting non-essential costs. Okay, so this is just an description of this tab, what you can do using it. So that's the use of this tab. I know I have made the video very long, sorry about that. uh, I have made it in a way so that in case you are in the stage of very beginner level, then it helps you a lot to understand each and every tab properly. If you are a bit advanced, then I will request you to uh, run the video faster, maybe 1.5 speed or 1.25 speed as per your requirement. This way you can save some time. But thank you so much for your attention, and if you have any question that is not answered within the video, you can message us at Etsy, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you.